Summertime, it's the perfect time of year for getting together with friends, enjoying a day on the water or at the park with the family, a lazy day on the porch, al fresco dining, and your favorite glass of wine. Oh my gosh, do I have the right wines for summer? When the heat is getting to you and you're looking for something that's perfectly relaxingly refreshing, a glass or can of wine, of white wine, is definitely your go-to option. Now, don't tell anybody I said this, but on a particularly hot day, I've even seen people putting a couple of cubes of ice in their glass of white wine. Not me though. In this video, we're going to focus our attention on white wines, but for you red lovers, don't forget to check out the other video, the top 10 red wines of 2021 summer home run. And yes, you can drink red wine in the heat. Anyway, you're here for the whites. One of the things about white wine that you want to be sensitive to is the kind of balance there is with wine, particularly with a little higher degree of acidity. That higher acidity is one of the things that makes your white wines thirst quenching. Now, in this video, I'm not going to show any individual or specific white wines. We're going to look at the different varietals of wines you're going to want to be purchasing. These will be the varietals that will pair well for the heat of the season and the foods of the season. And the reason I'm not going to be showing you specific white wines is because everybody has a different financial situation. All the wine experts and gurus tell you which specific wines to purchase for the summer. That's great, but what if you can't afford it? Or it's too cheap? Or you can't find it? Well, I personally enjoy world-class wines under $15. I don't want to superimpose my financial expectations on you. So I'm going to stay more general by giving you the top 10 white wine varietals or categories for you this summer. At the end of the day, most of the gurus just waste your time showing you a specific wine because they want you to purchase it from them. Well, I would like you to purchase my wine. The reality is, it's not about me, it's about you. So at the end of the video, you'll know which varietals you'll want and can either go to my website, check out my specials, maximize your discounts and purchase there, or you can go to your local wine shop or grocery store to purchase your wine. Although I have to say, I believe you'll find my prices much better. And also, I'll have a much wider selection than either the wine shop or your grocery store. Okay, to save you time, I'll just do a quick introduction of each varietal and give you a couple of highlights of the wines they produce. I'll also give you some guidelines for food pairings. Now folks, keep in mind, at any time, if you like the information or find it helpful, click like, subscribe, or hit the little bell to be notified when I have new posts. Now here are several general rules of thumb for whites that will maximize your tasting pleasure. You want to look for white wines that have some of these qualities: high acidity, light to medium body, and a dry taste. Acidity is the characteristic in wine that makes your mouth water and prepares your mouth for food. With each wine, I'll give you the idea of its acidity. This can get pretty technical, so I'm going to make it pretty simple and categorize each varietal as high, medium, or low acidity. Oh, by the way, I'm not rating these wines from best to worst, but from lightest to heaviest body. You ready? Here we go. Number 10, Riesling. This is one of the most interesting white wines available. Although often sweet and viscous, dry Rieslings can be found from producers in both Germany and in the US, particularly in Washington State. Frequently, it has intense aromas and flavors and is lower in alcohol. Here's some of what you can expect. Because it's made anywhere from sweet to dry, Riesling is one of the most food-friendly wines you can find during the summer. It pairs well with a variety of foods. You'll spend $1 or $2 more per bottle the drier you get. Number 9 is Moscato. Not everybody enjoys a bone-dry white wine, and for those who are looking for something on the sweeter end of the spectrum, check out Moscato. Italian Moscatos usually have some fun bubbles in it. Typically you'll find a cheaper, lower quality Moscato in your local supermarket. They tend to be pretty sweet. The sweeter they are, check to make sure that the acidity is higher. Here you see a list of foods you can pair with Moscato. You need to remember Asian foods. Number 8, Albarino. Spain's quintessential white wine, and you won't find oak in it. As you can see, it has the acidity we're looking for. It's incredibly refreshing, and unlike many white wines, you can age this. That means you can buy this by the case if you want to. Get your discounts, lay it down, it'll still be beautiful 3 or 4 years from now. Number 7, Pinot Grigio or Pinot Gris. These are basically the same wines, but from different parts of the world. It deserves a spot on the table year-round, but it's born for drinking during the summer months. The flavors are much more subtle than many wines. You can see that with foods, it is incredibly versatile. There are few wines that rival Pinot Grigio when it comes to pairing with seafood. Here's a crazy one, number 6, Chenin Blanc. This grape originated in France, but the world's biggest producer is South Africa. In South Africa, it's known as Steen. It's also being produced in both the US and Argentina. No matter what country it comes from, you'll thoroughly enjoy this wine. As you can see, its primary taste is passion fruit, peach, and pears, along with some apple. It's primarily made dry, but you can also find it in both off-dry and sweet. Sometimes you find it aged in oak, and when you do, you can see how it changes the taste profile just a little. As far as what to pair it with, as you see, summertime meats and salads, fish and veggies, cheese and charcuterie can be a perfect match. By the way, how are you doing there? Is this information helpful? If it is, write 10 whites in the comments below. Number 5 is Vino Verde. This one is so incredibly interesting because while it says Vino Verde on the bottle, Vino Verde is not the grape, it's the region. It's a region in Portugal, and it's a blend of 6 different grapes. Also, it has a little bit of a spritz to it. Not quite a Fizzante, but it still has a little spritz in most of the Vino Verdes, and it usually is pretty low in alcohol, around 11.5%. And Vino Verdes are usually a bargain, which means it's a definite porch pounder. Number 4 is Sauvignon Blanc. This varietal has exploded in popularity over the last several years and is one of the best summertime white wines. There's a wide variety of flavors which is determined by where it grows and where it's made. You can see all the flavors here, both with and without oak. To simplify this, there are 2 basic profiles. The Australia and New Zealand profile, which is big citrus, and the French profile, where the citrus is much more subtle and refined. That particular wine goes better with more foods. Oh, and sometimes in the US, you'll see it called Fumé Blanc. Number 3 is Gewürztraminer. First of all, I love saying Gewürztraminer. Gewürztraminer. If you haven't had this, you really need to add this to your summer list of white wines. It's one of only 18 noble grapes in the world. It's usually a very good value and pairs perfectly with Indian and Middle East foods. While this tastes somewhat sweet, the basic profile is grapefruit, lychee nut, and pineapple. And as you can see here, there's a whole lot more, a whole heck of a lot more. Number 2 is white blends. Blended wine is when we use more than one grape varietal to make your wine. Blending different grape enable the winemaker to make a more complex and interesting wine. One varietal may be a little weak in one area, like body or acidity, while another or several other grapes can strengthen that weakness. When winemakers do this, you can end up with some out-of-this-world flavors, textures, and aromas. Here again is an example of where diversity creates something phenomenal. In the past, blending did not have good results, but today we have phenomenal blends in virtually every economic category. Historically, France has been the leader in blending wine, so for better blends, I would start with France. Because of the great quality and the fact that people are getting tired of the traditional Chardonnay and Sauvignon Blanc, California and other areas of the world are beginning to follow France's lead. As far as the taste profile, acidity, and body are concerned, blends run the entire gamut. My suggestion is you not get the cheap stuff. You know, the stuff that has body parts or a critter on the bottle. These can turn you off pretty quickly to blends. You know, this summer, have some fun with blends and experiment. To me, blended white wine means warm summer evenings on the patio, linen shirts or gauzy blouses, enjoying an evening with great friends, good food, and a nice glass of wine. Number one, the biggest body for our top wines, particularly when aged in oak, is Chardonnay. Chardonnay has a very wide array of different tastes, depending on where it's grown and how it's made. But typically, Chardonnay is a dry, medium to full body wine with moderate acidity and alcohol. Its flavors range from apple and lemon to papaya and pineapple, and it also shows notes of vanilla when it's aged in oak. Now, before I get to our bonus, I do have a couple of honorable mentions. Champagne and sparkling wines. I've lumped these all together, including cavas from Spain and Proseccos from Italy. I'm suggesting you stay on the dry side, which is called Brut. I think you'll be surprised at how broad the food pairing options are. You'll see on the list there are quite a number of things these go with, but my favorite is fried chicken and French fries. The bubbles are festive, and let's be honest, we've been through a pretty horrendous time with COVID, so I'll be raising my fair share of sparkling wines this summer. Well, there you have it, our phenomenal white wines. Hang in there for the quick bonus at the end, but first, thanks so much for investing the time to watch this video. If you got something out of it, let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and the little bell to be notified when I post other videos. And please share this video if it was helpful to you. I'd appreciate it. All right, are you ready for the bonus? We've got rosé. Rosés are made the same way as normal red and white wines, except for the cheap stuff. The way the cheap stuff has been made is they take the basic white wine and add either a little bit of red wine or red food coloring to the white wine. This type of rosé is lousy and has given rosé a bad name. A real rosé tends to have crisp acidity, is blush pink in color, and has an exceptionally light body. As far as summer wines go, it's difficult to beat the refreshing qualities of a modestly priced, well-crafted rosé. However, there are a few things you should keep in mind. First, while many other wines can get better with age, rosés should be consumed a year or two after production. So pay attention to the age on the bottle. Second, fruity does not always mean sweet. Many rosés are fruity and dry. The dryness brings much needed crispness to the wine. A couple of rosés to look out for are Provence rosés. These are from Provence, France, which is where rosés all started. Sparkling rosés, which is what I have over here. Sangiovese rosés from Italy. They're more copper in color, but have vibrant notes of melon, peach, and rose petals, perfect for a Mediterranean meal on the patio. Grenache rosés, Pinot Noir rosés, these have delicate flavors and are a bit more on the darker pink side, perfect for barbecue. Well, there you have it. Folks, as with all of our wines, it's important to note we have a limited supply and they may not be available in all states. If you'd like any of these varietals, click the link below and check out the individual wines in the price category that suits you. And don't forget, you can get a discount on the list price. Enter your discount code Asti Wines at checkout. Again, the discount code is Asti Wines. Again, thanks for joining me. Make sure you watch these other videos. And remember to hit like and subscribe if you got something out of this video. Until next time, cheers.